Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hope everyone's having a blessed day. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to have a 2-year review of my credit situation since my bankruptcy. 2 years ago, in June 2017, I filed bankruptcy. I know it's July, but 2 years ago, I filed bankruptcy. I was about $200,000 in debt that I had in my business that I wanted to come out from under. And I knew how to work with credit. I knew I wasn't going to have a problem building my credit back up. But I wanted to make sure that I make a vlog of my journey building my credit back up. You see, a lot of times people will look at others that have these great FICO scores. You know, people will talk about, I have an 850 FICO score, but they didn't really show people how to get it, right? And so what I wanted to do was actually show people how to build your credit score from 550s, you know, whatever it was, back up to 700s. And it's been about 2 years now, and I just want to go over some things with you guys so that you guys can look. I'm going to go over some credit cards. I know I made a video talking about what's in my wallet. If you guys get a chance to go watch that video, there's been some changes. All right, so the Discover It, I still have my Discover card. This was the very first card that I got. Now, when I first filed my bankruptcy, what I wanted to do was get a good secure credit card that I knew was going to graduate to an unsecured credit card. What happens once your card becomes, once it graduates, what the company does, which was Discover, what they did was they sent me back my $400 because it was a $400 secure credit card. They sent me my $400, and then this card became unsecured, and they gave me an increase of $600, so it was a $1,000 unsecured credit card. The reason why I like this card is because this company, Discover, reviews your card every, I want to say every 3 months, every 6 months, something like that. And since then, like I said, they gave me another limited increase, which was another 1,000. So I believe it's about 2,000 now that once secure credit card was, which is now $2,000. The second secure credit card that I got was the State Department Federal Credit Union card. Now, this State Department Federal Credit Union, the reason why I got this card was because the interest rate on this card is better than any other secure credit card that I knew at the time. I haven't done a lot of research since then, but at the time I was going through looking for secure credit cards with a good interest rate. When you're starting out building credit, from the very beginning, your interest rates aren't going to be very high. Most of them are going to be 24, 26, 27%, 25%, something that is not typical of most credit card companies. But when you're first starting out, you just try and find a credit card that's going to approve you and help you establish credit. And you're going to use that card sparingly to get you some revolving lines of credit on your credit report to show credit card companies that you know how to manage your credit. And that's all you're trying to do at first. So I got these two credit cards and I got a self-lender account. And that's all I got at the time. Or at that point in time, I let that build. And once I got my two revolving lines of credit, I got my self-lender account. The very next thing that I did was I applied for the My Jewelers and I applied for the Discover, New Coast Direct, excuse me. I made a video a while back saying that most people use those accounts wrong. The New Coast Direct and My Jewelers account, they use those accounts wrong because they go out and get those accounts first. Yes, you can do it that way, but my theory is learn how to use credit, learn how to deal with credit, and establish relationships with banks. Those cards that you get, yeah, they're low limit cards, but you're just trying to establish a relationship with these banks and show them that you know how to use credit. And that's all you're trying to do at first. You're not trying to, dupe anybody or anything like that. You're just trying to build experience dealing with credit. And that's why I always talk about start with secure credit cards, and then you go get the new Coast Direct or the My Jewelers account. The very next card I got after my self-lender, the new Coast Direct, and my 2 secure credit cards was Credit One. Now, I'm going to try and talk about this company without getting a defamation lawsuit against me. The thing that I didn't like about Credit one of the things I didn't like, there's plenty of them, but the main reason why I ended up getting rid of that card is because when you use a card, let's say I go out and I use my Discover It card and I purchase $100 worth of merchandise, whatever it is. If I pay that off by my due date, I'm not charged interest. With Credit One, as soon as you use your credit card, you are charged interest. And that was one thing that I really did not like with Credit One. It seemed like they had so many ways to take advantage of people, and one of them was just the fact that as soon as you used your card, they would charge you interest, and the interest was charged on a daily basis. And that it just was, there was just so many things. Anytime you wanted to pay the credit card off, you had to pay $5 to $10 to pay the credit card off, or you had to go through the computer. And I just thought, man, this is too much. And so a lot of times people will ask me, hey, I got this card that I really don't like. It's charging me an annual fee. Should I close the account? A lot of times it's okay to close the account if you're just building credit and you're just starting out and you don't have a long history of that credit card. You should know that, you know, if you're not going to have a history with this company, know early, right? What you don't want to do is have a card that you had 10 years and then cancel it, because then it's going to have a lot more effect. But if you just had the card for, you know, anywhere from 6 months to a year and you were thinking about closing it, it's not going to be a huge effect unless that card is going to drastically change your utilization rate, right? So if you had a high limit credit card, let's say $20,000, and you didn't want that card, and you had another card that was a $2,000 limit that's maxed out, once you close that $20,000 card, your credit limit is all automatically going to 100%. All right, I hope you followed what I just said. So it just really depends on your credit situation, and you just have to analyze it and know how closing that card is going to affect your situation. I'm not going to go too much into that because that's not what you're here for. You want to know my credit cards. So I closed that Credit One account, and I ended up getting a relationship with Navy Federal Credit Union. Now, I made a video a while ago called "Don't Be a Credit Hoe," meaning don't go out applying for a whole bunch of credit that you're not going to establish relationships with. Because at some point you're going to, one, do what I just talked about. You're going to want to close that credit card. Or two, you're just going to be paying a whole bunch of annual fees for cards that you don't want, that you just got for the sake of getting. You want to be smart when you're applying for credit, and apply for those institutions that you know you want to do business with in the long term. Navy Federal Credit Union is the largest credit union in the United States of America. So I knew that I wanted to have an established relationship, right? I wanted to establish a relationship with them because if you go and you read through a lot of credit blogs or just like My FICO or stuff like that, people that do business with Navy Federal Credit, seems like their credit card limits are higher than most other credit cards. And so I wanted to establish a relationship with Navy. And one thing that I did know, when I applied for my auto loan with Navy Federal Credit Union, they approved me. Not only did they approve me, but they gave me a really good interest rate. So I really like the interest rate. I like the way they do business. So this was my second card, right? It was the Navy American Express. I'm covering it up because they have some things that, some numbers on there I don't want to show. That's the Navy or the American Express backed by Navy Federal Credit Union. This is a $25,000 limit. Okay, this is a $25,000 limit. It's my highest limit credit card. And I think that, no, I can't say that because I have quite a few clients that got the $25,000 limit also. I was going to say that I think I got it because all the money that I run through that bank. But no, because I have some clients that got the $25,000 limit that weren't running a lot of money through their bank account. They just had the zero balance bank account and got a $25,000 limit. Because when you apply for the Navy Federal Credit Union card, one thing is you have to be a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. So they make you open a credit card up or a bank account up. So I had the Navy Federal Credit Union. It's American Express card, but I wanted to actually get a Visa, right? I wanted to get a Visa card with Navy Federal Credit Union also. So Navy gave me another Visa, or gave me a Visa card in the amount of $7,000, right? So I have the $25,000 American Express Navy, and then the $7,000 Visa form of the Navy card. It's the flagship Visa. That's a rewards card. Just like my American Express, it's a rewards card. But I didn't get them for the reward points. I'm just in the process of building credit. Okay? And my last credit card, these are just my personal cards. These are not my business credit cards. You guys already know about my business credit cards. My last personal credit card was my Capital One. All right. Now, the reason why this card is important is because I get a lot of people that ask me, if they burned a credit card company, can they still get approved for a credit card from that company? When I filed my bankruptcy in 2017, I had a Capital One card for, I believe it got up to $3,500 at the time. And I included that in the bankruptcy. Now, it was not maxed out, but there was a good limit on that credit card. And the advice that I got was, don't pay your credit cards until your bankruptcy discharged. And it should have been the other way around. It should have been, keep paying your credit cards until your bankruptcy discharged. And so when I discharged my Capital One, I believe it became 90 days late, and it already went to collections by the time everything got discharged. I know that they're supposed to put a stop limit or a stop attempt to collect on the debt and wipe out. It's not supposed to go further, but that ended up going to collections. And long story short, a year and a half later, I got approved for Capital One. So if you burn Capital One and you're thinking, well, my account 3 years ago went to collection, if you set yourself up credit-wise up properly, there's a really good chance that you can still get another Capital One credit card. Okay, so that's for those of you who are always asking me, Kenny, can I get another credit card with Capital One if I had a Capital One card with them that charged off? So that's my credit card situation right now. I'm not going to be applying for too much more credit. I'm kind of happy where I'm at for right now. If I apply for any more credit, it's going to be equipment, purchasing trucks, stuff like that. And I want to go into my credit report. I'm just going to go over my credit report real quick. I'm not going to, go too much into it. And I'm terrible at this, right? You know how people can hold their camera up to the or their phone up to the camera and get whatever it is that they're trying to get. So this, I hope you can see it. If not, I apologize because I'm hoping it adjusts properly. What it's showing is that my TransUnion is at a 693 and my Equifax is at a 695. Okay, so that's 2 years after a bankruptcy. I'm close to the 700 range. Now, the interesting thing is that's my Vantage 3.0 scores. It really depends on what scoring model you look at, because if you look at my on my FICO, if you look at my FICO and my credit card FICO score, my credit card FICO score is higher than my auto score. My credit card FICO score is in the 700s. My auto FICO scores are in the 700s, and my mortgage FICO scores are close to 700. They're about the same as my Vantage scores. So it just really depends on what you're looking at, where my credit scores fall. I just wanted to give you an idea of where I'm sitting with my credit scores. I'm working, I'm still building my credit. I'm using my credit the right way. I'm under 10% on using my credit cards with all my debt. My utilization rate is, I believe it's at 3%. So it's a really low percentage, and that's because of that $25,000 card that I got with Navy Federal Credit Union. But I wanted to make this video because most people that are starting out, they usually send me the same questions. Kenny, here's my situation. Do you think it'll work for me? Please understand, when I first started, I had a bankruptcy on my credit report. And if you don't have a bankruptcy on your credit report, there's a really good chance in 2 years you're going to be way above a 700 if you structure your credit right? If you use it the right way. There's people telling you don't get secure credit cards. There's people telling you you can't do this, you can't do that. The reality of the situation is you can do it. And that's what this channel is about. If you're looking for someone to help you with your credit situation, you're in a situation where you got your secure credit cards or you got your revolving lines of credit, you got your installment loans, and you're looking for somebody to help you delete the items off your credit report, reach out to me. My email address is kenny@creditliving.com. I give people free consultations all the time. That's one thing that I do that most credit specialists will not do, is I spend an awful lot of time with people that just have questions on their credit situation. They'll either email me and then I'll tell them, okay, what's your phone number or something like that, and I'll reach out to them. Just because I don't like posting a whole bunch of phone numbers online. What I do is I usually tell people to email me, and I vet you through email to make sure your situation is right, and then I'll call you and we'll talk. If you're looking for somebody to help you get out of your situation, I can help you, but you got to reach out to me. That's what you got to do. I'm not going to make this a long video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one, and I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye.